Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Daniil, and I'm gonna talk about stuff I was been working on, and really want to talk to you guys. Thank you for joining. I would really wait your questions, follow-ups in the comments there, just to check that we are live and everything is fine. I need to understand what's the latency here with the stream. Hey, Rich, thank you for the comments. Yeah, I'm glad you're here, guys. Drop a few lines about you and where you're from. I would be really interested in talking to you today. And please type how is the quality of the stream? Is there any lags? How is the sound? This is like my first stream ever, so there might be some technical issues, but I made some tests earlier today, so it should be fine, I guess. There was a stress testing for an hour. Everything was fine, so let's... Okay, a little buffering, but all good. Okay, so I have a little presentation about stuff. Aesthetics, maybe we will talk a little about the AI developing and AI in the creative process. So a bit of slides to explain more my background, what I was working on before Tools. So first of all, I'm a designer. Okay, getting quite a bit of buffering now. Not sure how stable the connection is. Not sure it's just me. Okay. Yeah, I see a bit of frame drops, but I don't know how to fix that. If you know, if you're a pro in this, please, yeah. Okay. Laurentia, hi. I see there is a buffering. Okay, I'll try before we continue. Please stay tuned. I just want to make sure everything is fine and there is as little latency as possible. Okay, I'm back. Looks like I found the issue. It was the door. It was blocking the Wi-Fi signal. So yeah, just tell me if anything changed. It should be more stable now. Yeah, looks decent. Yeah, I see quite. I hope it will be fine now. I don't have the cable in this room, so yeah, it's purely on Wi-Fi. And my son, he destroyed the router that was like making the mesh Wi-Fi. So I'm trying to reach the router that is quite far away. So yeah, I see the comments now. Yeah, the latency is a bit better for now. I still see some warnings on YouTube, but I don't know, guys, how much I can do for now. Okay, Saint P. Hi, Saint P. Yeah. So yeah, it's great that I've mentioned my son because Tools actually started while my wife Natalia, she were pregnant with Mika, or Micah, you can call him like that. And I started like building stuff quite a lot just to release some stress. That's how I started building Tools. It was really tiny project I've made on CodePen just to play around with P5 library. If you heard about this one, this is a GS library that gives you some controls over the canvas. You can make animation or reactive graphics based on the input, and basically tools doing that. so yeah, I'll be back to my presentation and to my background. So yeah, I'm a graphic designer and also have a background of industrial design, like furniture design. So I've done a little bit of graphic design, a little bit of industrial design, but I realized that, okay, I want quicker results. I want to wait for a year or two for chair development because it's a really complex process, and you gotta think about the distribution, you gotta think about the construction, planning and stuff. So it's quite complex thing. So I've learned 3D while I was doing my studies. And after that, I've worked a lot with the 3D, with Cinema 4D, with Houdini, if you heard about this tool. And at this point, I've started building a lot of like small tools because Houdini is quite all about this was to create this visuals for photogrammetry process. This is like a scale bars that basically shows the camera to capture these like small dots. And what this photogrammetry does is actually compares the distance between these dots after some changes. So here is like the process of some deformation. These vectors show how like this door deformed under some pressure, I don't know. So I had to build these kind of stuff. And yeah, it's really cool because once you set up all these nodes, after this you can easily swap the objects, cameras, etc., and you got the same results. So this is like first step towards the tools. At some point, I had to make some UGC content for the brand I was working with, and I found ground for the brand to create this crazy visuals. I've left the QR code in case you want to check the case study, or just here's a link. You can go there. Okay, say something in the chat just so I know that everything is fine and connection is okay. Okay, and I also a huge fan of contemporary type. It's on Instagram. You can search for them on Instagram, and they basically do all the crazy stuff with lettering and also coded graphics. I would say like that. So, and I was really inspired of this, but I realized they just show the screenshots, maybe some videos on how this working, but you can't play with this. So you just basically can see, okay, it's interesting. I really want to play with that, but I can't, right? So this is just what some kind of a brand. This is like internal tool. So, okay. And I've started like trying to recreate this stuff. Also more inspiration, just something similar to this. I really like the aesthetics of this interface. It's really cool. And yeah, this is basically how this is really like tools inspired. So you can, the tool was inspired by this. Sorry. So as you see here, it's crazy stuff that could be done with this tool. I'm not sure it's working now or it's accessible, but you can find the original post. This is just the screenshots. And huge shout out for these guys. Please check them out. Go follow them. This is like the main inspiration for tools. What is this tool? Okay. Actually, I don't know. This is like some agency. So just in case, I'll keep it a little here so you can make pictures. So yeah, huge shout for these guys. These are main inspiration. So basically what these people are doing, they are coding graphics. So most of them using P5 library, I suppose. Maybe some just pure WebGL graphics. We'll talk about this later, I hope, if you will have any questions, of course. But yeah, so back to my wife. She was pregnant, and I was a bit nervous. So I decided just to navigate my energy into learning something new. And these are great tools to kickstart any project. And guys, if you're thinking, I don't know, by the way, what's your background, please type what are you doing. Are you a graphic designer, or you a developer, or something else? Please type in the comments. This would also will help me to align the stuff I'm talking about. Just it would be maybe not so technical, or maybe more technical, you say. So yeah, the CodePen is a great tool to kickstart anything. The main thing here is you can just go to CodePen.io and you'll see the interface like CSS, JS, HTML, and it's difficult just on the setup. But with LLMs, ChatGPT, and this stuff, it's really easy to start. Okay, Rich, the background is music. Okay, into photography and experimenting with different. Okay. Product designer. Okay, hi Andrew, product designer. Okay. So, by the way, for the music, P5 is also really great instrument for transforming and visualizing music. You can use some sound waves as an input and then transform them into graphics. So it's pretty sick. Okay, designer here in the chat also. Hi. um, so yeah, and the first project actually I was doing with my friend, the friend I'm working with on Effect.app actually. This is like our first app. We decided to try to build something together and just to see how our vibes are matching here. So this is quite sick app, by the way. You can download it on the App Store. It's very, very, very niche thing. I have to say that. And this is an app. The main idea of this app is just to stare at blank screen. And that's it. All app is just watching black screen for a minute. It's totally free. You can download it if you have iOS. So yeah, it's really, it's nothing you can do with a black screen interface. So what I wanted to do here is to make this haptics that makes this smooth transition from showing you this onboarding, like this dot with some kind of a text, and this dot just goes there into the blackness, into like, and you see your, after this you just see your reflection on the phone. So that was a big idea behind this. And I realized that to make some complex haptic feedback, you gotta code it, because you can't do any complex patterns out of the box. You have to make it manually or you have to code it. I didn't find any tools to make this, so I decided to make one. So I decided to make a tool to make these haptic patterns and to test it really quick, just to make sure that we have the pattern that fits like the best. And as you see here, this is like a screenshot from CodePen. This is like the place where I've tried to build that. I had a really little background in coding. I finished this Code Academy for like bootcamp, because at the time I was working a lot with the web developers, and I decided, okay, it is time to learn, just to, to talk with developers the same language. So I had a really little background. All I did is just build my portfolio website, and that's it. So I've started from scratch here. The GPT was quite lame at this point, so I could I've used it just to ask some basic questions, but mostly did it like 80% by myself. So, and I also would say like GPT is totally fine. I'm pro AI at some point. I'll track some curves and it will just output the JSON file that could be loaded to the server. And after this, you'll feel this haptic feedback on your phone. So we found the pattern. I've tried this pipeline and become more confident in this. And yeah, let's jump into the first prototype of the tool app. It was looking like this. This is actually shapes v4. So that means that this is like the fourth iteration of it. But yeah, before it was public, I've built it here on CodePen, and you still could find this in a. I don't care how like UI would look like. I like things to be perfect, but this project was a bit different. I've tried like, okay, I know the code is kind of shit because I'm a newbie in this. I'll let this be like this, just really simple controls, nothing else, just the canvas. And as you see here, I was just too lazy to center that div, and the canvas is just in this angle, and it's still there. So just go to tools and still see this canvas right in the corner. So yeah, it is what it is. And yeah, so I've decided, okay, I'm gonna frame it like this. This is like lo-fi stuff. I don't care how quick, how efficient the code is. I'll just ship it. I'll see how it's gonna work out. If my friends would use that, I would be happy, and that's it. I didn't had any thoughts on how popular this thing should be or could be. So yeah, I was just, okay, I'm gonna build this. I'm gonna build a lot of effects just because I need some time, like a Zen garden, when I just code, I focus, I log in, and I prepare for this transition to become a father. So this is like a psychological experiment, I would say. Yeah, and just to compare, this is like the really early version of tools, and this is what we have now. Quite a lot of different effects. I still try to add some more stuff there. The main focus is Effect.app, but I want tools to evolve more and to, yeah. So I want just to keep it going. And yeah, that's crazy that I decided not to promote tools, just to leave it like there, send it to friends, and that's it. I didn't had any like intentions to promote this. I still don't have an Instagram page for tools, but some people ask about this, but I decided just to, um, focus on the tools, on effects, and yeah, that's mostly it. Okay, chat. This is like the end of section 1. Just drop a few lines if you're still watching. If you have any questions about like this part, maybe like some questions about the process, about stuff and how things changed after a year or two. Just I'll pause for a few minutes and we'll continue after this. Have a look. So if you're willing to share, please go on. That would be great. As I've mentioned before, I had these guys, I was really like inspired by them. And of course, the first acts were like, this is quite common stuff. I just wanted to reverse engineer them just to better understand how things are working, right? And I reverse engineer a lot for like design, for the product design, for like industrial design. This is like the stuff I'm doing a lot. So yeah, I was like, okay, it's a really cool effect. How can I achieve that? I've just watched this letters and that how they split in some lines, like why they split here, what's like the logic behind this. And this is actually how the gradients effect appeared. So how this exactly thing works, there is an input like an image or video, and there is a threshold, like at which point we draw a break. Yeah, like if the threshold exceeds like I don't know, white pixel, we're just starting to draw a box where we put a letter or a gradient, and that's really simple thing actually. So you just scan the input image pixel by pixel, you store the data, and you store these threshold points, and after this you just draw the gradients. So this is like what inspired the gradient tool. And of course, some other effects like stepping or dots, these are quite common stuff. Of course, you can find it on YouTube, like how to make these dotted patterns. Most of these effects are present on Photoshop, but of course, the idea why I decided to build this, even if it's already there, I realized like, okay, people want to play with this, they don't want to install stuff, and this should be just a website, right? So the friction should be as little as possible. So you just type the link, you go there, you play. And yeah, that worked out perfectly, I would say. I use the dithering probably most. Oh, okay, yeah, dithering tool is quite interesting, and doing this and plenty of solutions on the market, I would say. Um, for the tools, like really primitive dithering, I would say, because it's stuff that I really tried to build and to better understand how this works. Basically, it's crazy math going there, but the main thing that why it's interesting is like there is like an error stuff that you just calculate each pixel, and based on the sum of the past pixels, you draw the next one. And this can be a pain. Just wanted to ask if it's ever crossed your mind, or what are your thoughts on this? Okay, monetizing. Um, Thank you for the question. Actually, it also bothers me a lot. I've decided that tools gonna be free, and I'm gonna keep the tools free. And maybe that's the reason why tools became quite popular. It's around like 40K users every month for now, and it's still growing. That's crazy numbers for me because I don't spend like a penny on promoting this. So it's I would say it's a success, because my thoughts was like, okay, maybe 10 people would love it, will use it, and yeah, maybe that's it. So yeah, I was like, okay, monetizing this stuff, how I would do this, I would need some kind of processing, like transactions, and I just realized, okay, mm, first of all, I was like, okay, maybe that's not free. I need some like I need to write some tests, and that's how become a supporter page right in the corner began. I was like, okay, maybe I should just drop some kind of a QR code. This is my cat, by the way, Cecile. She will join me for the rest of the stream, I guess. So, and I've dropped some QR codes just in case maybe some kind of a rich guy would come over and just drop a few thousands. I don't know. I didn't had any like I didn't thought that. Actually, I think I've earned zero from this page, and I still had a thought like, okay, people use that. There is a huge market on different After Effects plugins, like Photoshop plugins. Maybe I found some kind of a niche there, and that's how Effect.app began. So this is like there is a pro plan there. You can buy it. Let's move on monetizing. will you ever charge, scale, or sell, or simply let it be? So yeah, as already answered, the tool's gonna be as they are for now. I'm not planning to sell this. I don't know who wants to buy that. Maybe some people would buy that. I don't know, but yeah, for now I have this Effect.app project. Maybe we're gonna sell this. I don't know. I'm talking about the Effect.app. Um, we'll see. For now, me and my partner, my friend, we are building with. We are thinking like, okay, we have a really great start. We had this base as a tools app. A lot of traffic goes from the tools, so I'll just use this as an asset because it's just great to have this channel, right? So just people visiting your website and actually that you guys here on the stream, I think it's a kind of a result of popularity of tools because I've left a link there and you're here, right? So I think it's enough for me. I don't want to gain more from tools. So yeah, that's the answer. Um, the next question. My favorite effect is LED screen. I want to try to wipe code an app to take pictures in this style. Yeah, totally great idea. If you want to vibe code it, think in advance about what you're gonna do with it later. Like, is it going to be iOS app or is it going to be a web application, or it should be like Android and iOS app? Um, I don't see like any problems in vibe coding in 2025. I think there are plenty of great AI tools to vibe code and to not to do shitty code. And as I said earlier, there's nothing wrong with shitty code actually. Just do stuff and enjoy the process. For me, vibe coding is not very enjoyable, I would say. That's because I know quite a little about coding, but I still know something, right? I know the logic stuff, and when I see when what I actually get when I vibe code, I'm a bit afraid that I wouldn't be able to understand what's going on at some point. And if you're gonna monetize that and you're gonna process some user data, right? You're gonna be 100% sure that it's secured. You don't gonna leak that. So what I would suggest is just to go have some fun, build, but just don't touch the backend. Just do the stuff that is working and it's pretty, and then just find someone who is willing to help you, maybe for free, just to set up the backend, because this is really important. The user data is very important, and you don't have to, risk it all, because first of all, this is like personal data. If something will happen, some people may press charges, right? So you gotta think ahead about this. Actually, I was building some kind of a PvP game, like terminal style, just a text game that lets you type your movements. I actually made some screenshots of this thing. So yeah, I've tried to vibe code this thing too. I was like, okay, between the calls, between some regular stuff I'm working, I'll just try to let the cursor to build this, and should run. And I realized like, okay, I gotta stop here, and I'm gonna like, this is a really cool idea. I'm still working on this thing with WebGL rather than just P5 library, because it's just faster. If you're gonna wipe code it, it doesn't matter if P5 or WebGL. And I think if you wish to learn something, because you can just vibe code, nothing wrong with this. But if you just learn like 2% of the stuff that you are doing, at some point you're gonna, understand more, and you're gonna vibe code less and code by yourself more. And that's the learning curve also. So it's a great thing to do. I have a little receipt paper printer, and it gives basically the same effect, but being to manipulate different. Okay, yeah. Yeah, by the way, some of the effects are inspired by this heat printers, I guess. Oh, I just realized, sorry guys, I realized that I didn't share the screen with Figma with with the UI of this of this app. I'm really sorry. Here it is. So here is the game I was talking about. Yeah, my bad. My bad. Um, yeah, I'll just gonna leave it here. So because of latency, maybe you'll have some time to look at it. My bad. I'm thinking of trying Apple's app clip technology. It seems cool and doesn't need an app store, just for fun and myself. Yeah, go on. I've never heard about this thing, but yeah, go do this. Okay, there are no questions anymore. If you have any, please type. We're going to talk more about AI and how you can use this for some effect coding for your purposes, maybe some kind of a custom tools. Um, my my thoughts on this is that AI is great, and it gives you an opportunity, really custom stuff that maybe just you or a couple of other people need in this world, but really niche. But it's like a real freedom from like huge companies that you just won't gonna sit there and wait until someone will do the stuff for you. Now you have like everything you need to do the really custom stuff, and that's really cool. I've stumbled across be a Google person anymore. It's very inspiring thing actually. I didn't watch the PewDiePie maybe for 10, 15 years, and it was really nice to see him saying this stuff, because I know he's a huge figure for young people, and it's really inspiring. And I really think that more people should code, more people should understand more how this stuff is working. And yeah, to be fair, I was like thinking, okay, I'm a designer, and coding is really hard. I gotta do a lot of math, which I'm not really good at, as I thought, right? But at the end, I realized that it's much easier than I was thinking. So if you have maybe same thoughts about coding, and you were in doubts, so this is your sign to start doing something. I really want to get more into creative coding too, but I am a complete beginner. Do you have any tips to ease into the coding world without being overwhelmed? It really depends on what you want to build, but you know, just do stuff. Just try to recreate something you like first, just bit by bit, and eventually you're gonna get there. Um, you will start like completely clueless what's going on, how this stuff is worked. You will feel the magic of the process, the magic when you've typed something like letters into like IDE, some kind of code editor, or even txt file right on your machine, and you'll hit run and you'll see that stuff moving, right? Something's happening. You print like hello world stuff, and this is magical actually. And when I first starting like trying to do stuff, uh, this was really long ago before I tried coding. I used the tool called VVVV. Maybe you've heard about this. This is also like coding, but with nodes. You don't have to type anything, like you don't have to write the functions, you don't have to write constants, you just connect the blocks, and each block is some kind of logic. It's just the stuff to pixels or to the sound, and you will learn the logic behind some effects, how pixels are processed without going deeper into the syntaxes and this kind of complex stuff that really makes this learning curve a bit steep. So maybe you can try building with VVVV visuals for some live music events. Yeah, I've done that when I was like 16, 17, 20 years old. I was really into techno and electronic music, and it's really great because you have like plenty of channels that the artist can share with you, like a drum machine or synthesizers, and you have like these separate inputs that you can build around them, right? So you can make a square bigger on the beat, for example, and that's already kind of cool. And make a projection mapping on some interesting wall or object. It would gonna be dark, and it's just a cube, a white cube that pulsating on the black um, canvas. It's already looking cool because it's all working together with the music. So go try doing this maybe, and yeah, that's gonna be a start when you see the result immediately. So don't try to build something really complex. Try to build really, really minimal stuff, like something that you can build in 20 minutes and easily understand that. Okay, I see the chat. I agree, just doing stuff. Yeah, that's cool that you've mentioned games, because at some point I've stopped playing games because I realized that some games require a lot of learning, which is of course cool, right? But I realized, okay, I'm gonna spend like a month learning Factorial specifically. This is the game when I saw it like on YouTube, I was like, damn, this should be really cool, because you see those chains like of the resources that crafting just on the fly. You build the machines, you build the process, and you just try to secure these resources and chains from the monsters, right? So, and it's a crazy game, but it's really, really complex. You have to go to wiki, you have to read a lot, you have to see that. Yeah, I think if there will be no more questions, or yeah, we're gonna wrap up in 20 minutes. We are live for some time already, and I think it's like good for a first time. uh, and yeah, maybe you want to drop some line maybe for the future stream, to maybe focus on specific theme and talk more about this. Maybe you want to be a guest on the next stream, I don't know. I would be really interested in talking more to the people, and talk about their background. Really new to this live sessions, and I'm actually quite new to video recording myself. A lot of stuff to improve definitely there, but yeah, I want to do it more often, definitely. Okay, okay. I think we're gonna wrap up in 10 minutes if there will be no more questions. By the way, yeah, you can tell me if the time is all right, because yeah, it's kind of late. Maybe next time I'll find different time for streaming, because I'm also, yeah, as already said, I'm kind of a newbie in this, and yeah, I want to I want to see more people and more engagement next time. So if I should find some time, not on the weekend, but rather like on Wednesday evening, I'll try to do my. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap up now. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate that you guys wrote some comments, shared some thoughts. I really liked how we spent this evening together. Yeah, I'm gonna finish now. Bye bye, everyone, and maybe see you soon. Cheers.